We're kicking things off with our international correspondent, Alex Newman. And Alex, you're in studio with us. That's not a hologram. He's sitting right next to me. And so we're very thrilled to have him here. He's a bit of a rock star. We're starting with Betsy DeVos. Now, Betsy DeVos is the former Department of Education secretary under Donald Trump, and to be very, very blunt, she was an incredibly disappointing choice. In the first place, she was on Jeb Bush's Common Core committee team when he was running for president of the United States. She literally was working with Jeb Bush to get Common Core in all the schools after Jeb Bush dropped out for some unknown reason. Well, I think the reason is because she and her family have billions of dollars to donate. I think that's the reason ultimately she got the job at the Department of Education under Donald Trump, and it was largely a forgettable, if not disastrous, term. She didn't make things worse, Alex. She didn't throw gasoline on the fire like the Department of Education under Joe Biden is. But the body public, when it came to education, that she inherited was already in stage 4 cancer. And she did nothing to remit that cancer at all, and allowed, when Biden took up office 4 years later, to actually move right after where Obama had left off. And so, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was not impressed with Betsy DeVos when she was serving, and I'm also not impressed with her now. I mean, I'm very pleased that she's saying things like we need to abolish the Department of Education, but that's common wisdom among conservatives and really anybody with a brain who's thinking critically or who understands the Constitution. And you really have to look at the record of these people, and her record has been disastrous. Her big claim to fame is promoting this so-called education choice or school choice agenda, and I have serious concerns about that, and so do a lot of other people. In fact, all the big homeschooling associations have fought this agenda tooth and nail because they don't want tax money going to homeschool families. And a lot of the heavyweights in this movement have pointed out that is really just the cheese in the mousetrap to get private schools and Christian schools and homeschoolers to come and take government money and then get stuck in the trap of government control. So, Betsy DeVos has a long history of promoting this Common Core stuff. Like you mentioned, she was with Jeb Bush. She actually fought tooth and nail to keep it in Michigan when there was a real chance to get it ousted from there. So, it's great that she's talking like this. She's got a big platform, but I don't think we can afford to be fooled anymore.
Yeah, and as you said before we started filming, now she sounds like a conservative because she wants to sell a book. Yeah. How many liberals are you going to think are going to buy a book by Betsy DeVos, right? Right. The answer is none. So, hey, American public, with all due respect, be careful of what you're going to buy here because she's pandering in many ways. Take a look at the video.
Well, I've said often, I frankly don't think the Department of Education should exist. And that would get rid of a lot of the...
Did that play well?
Not necessarily with the staff there, but with a lot of folks outside of Washington it does. Because really for any of the creative reforms that we advanced, we really had to essentially work around most of the career staff because there were very few who would actually get the work done that needed to be done, or would present options that weren't even close to what we were attempting to do.
Well, she's absolutely right. She did very little because, in large part, the entire D.C. apparatus, not just the bureaucrats at the Department of Education, were not on her side. I'll give her total credit for the one thing she did do. She did help protect young boys on college campuses who were accused of sexual crimes. They were now, under DeVos, allowed to have due process. They were allowed to see the evidence against him. She did a good job with that, but other than that, I can't think of a single thing that she did. And my question to you, Alex, is that you were the department secretary for 4 years. You never once mentioned getting rid of it. You never tried to get rid of it. And now that you've got hawking a book on the national tour, it would be like somebody saying, gee, I tried to warn them about burning down the building, but only after the ashes were raked through. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, and we have so many of these people in our political scene where every once in a while they'll talk really conservative, try to garner support from the grassroots movement, but Betsy DeVos, unfortunately, is just, she's got a lot of work to do if she wants to redeem herself in the eyes of conservatives, and just saying, standard conservative talking points like we need to abolish the Department of Education is not going to be enough. She's a billionaire, she comes from a billionaire family. You got to put your money where your mouth is. Maybe some nice grants for actual organizations that are actually moving the needle forward would be a good way to try to redeem yourself. But we have so many of these people that grovel before the grassroots when they feel like they need something, whether it's to sell a book or to win an election, and then the moment they actually get what they want, whether that's political power or whatever, they're just ready to stick the knife in our backs. And we've got to stop falling for this stuff.
Yeah, what you got to do, Betsy DeVos, and all of you out there who want our conservative vote, you have to be very vocal about getting rid of the Department of Education. You have to demonstrate, especially if you're on the inside of the Department of Education, but generally, you have to point out repeatedly the danger this has done. One of the things that Betsy DeVos did during her 4-year term was solidify and advance the alignment between American public school education and UN agendas. I'm sorry, you're not a reformer if you're tying us closer to UNESCO. It's a disaster. You want to fix this, you've got to be really serious about pointing out that the moms and dads are in charge, not state or federal bureaucrats. Until that is done, and I don't hear a lot of that from Betsy DeVos, even after she's been the secretary, nothing's going to get any better. Alex Newman, thank you so much for your time today.